Luigi Mangione had it all. An Ivy League education, a family that was loaded, and a future most people could only dream of. So how does a man like that end up accused of a crime that's left the whole nation stunned? In this video, we'll uncover the dark journey of frustration, chronic pain, and disillusionment that led Luigi down this dangerous path, and why his story has everyone talking about the failures of corporate America. Stay tuned, because what we reveal might just change how you see it all. The incident. Manhattan isn't exactly a stranger to chaos, but December 4th brought a new kind of shock. Just before 7 a.m., outside the New York Hilton Midtown, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in broad daylight. The shooter, masked and calculating, fired 3 times before vanishing on an electric bike. Police quickly called it a targeted assassination, and the footage of the attack left little doubt. This attack was anything but random. But the trail had gone cold. For about a week, no real evidence had turned up, apart from a brief glimpse of his face in a surveillance camera. The police suspected that the gunman had left the city on a bus. However, 6 days later, a break in the case finally came. Not in New York, but in the small town of Altoona, Pennsylvania. The arrest. A McDonald's employee recognized the suspect from the photos circulating online and tipped off the police. And there he was, sitting at a table with a silver laptop, wearing a blue medical mask, seemingly unfazed. But when the officers walked in and started asking questions, the suspect froze. According to police, he started shaking when they asked him if he'd been in New York recently. That's when it all unraveled. When police searched Mangione, they uncovered more than just a few red flags. A firearm and silencer consistent with the murder weapon were in his possession, along with multiple fake IDs, including one he'd used to check into a New York hostel under the name Mark Rosario. There was also a handwritten document, a manifesto according to authorities, that seemed to lay out his grievances with corporate greed and, more specifically, the healthcare industry. Keep watching till the end to find out exactly what he wrote. Moving on. Investigators also believe that the weapon used was a ghost gun, assembled without a serial number and possibly created using a 3D printer. It's a chilling detail that points to the premeditated nature of the crime. Now Mangione's been charged with second-degree murder, multiple counts of criminal possession of a weapon, and forgery. It's a list that could keep Mangione behind bars for decades if convicted. As news of Luigi Mangione's arrest spread, his family broke their silence with a short but emotional statement. Speaking on behalf of the family, his cousin, Maryland State Delegate Nino Mangione, said, "Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved." The statement says the family only knows the facts of the case that have been released in the news. "We are devastated by this news," the short statement says. The statement didn't give much away. No insights into Luigi's life or any possible explanations for his actions. From all that we know until now, everyone close to him is just as blindsided by this as the public. His sister also posted this picture on her Instagram story. But behind those carefully worded statements and Instagram stories lies the bigger question. Who the heck is Luigi Mangione? How does someone from a prominent, successful family end up at the center of such a high-profile crime? And how have you not hit the subscribe button yet? Who is Luigi Mangione? Luigi Mangione's story begins in Maryland, where he was born into a family many would describe as living the American dream. Growing up, Luigi had every advantage a person could ask for. His grandfather, Nicholas Mangione, built a real estate empire that included the Turf Valley Resort, Hayfields Country Club, and even a local radio station, WCBM AM. The family also owned Lorien Health Services, a chain of senior rehabilitation centers. If that wasn't enough, Luigi's childhood home was a $1.9 million mansion sitting on the country club estate. But despite being handed everything on practically a silver platter, you can't really take anything away from Luigi's own brilliance. Luigi attended the Gilman School in Baltimore, one of the most elite private schools in the country. With tuition pushing $40,000 a year, this wasn't the kind of place most families could afford. But Luigi made the most of it. He wasn't just another kid at Gilman. He was the popular kid, a sort of leader described by people from his class, and the chosen valedictorian of his 2016 class. In his graduation speech, he called his class a group of people coming up with new ideas and challenging the world around them.
The class of 2016 has been coming up with new ideas and challenging the world around it.
He also gave a nod to his parents, acknowledging the sacrifices they'd made to send their kids to a school like Gilman. A far from small financial investment, as he put it.
Sending us to Gilman was far from a small financial investment. I'd like to personally thank each of you for sending your sons here, as I can't imagine the class of 2016 without any one of these men on stage. Further, thank you for all the time and love you have put into our lives. You've instilled values in us, fed and clothed us, and simply been there for us every step of the way.
From there, Luigi's path seemed unstoppable. He went on to study at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the top schools in the country. Not only did he graduate with a bachelor's degree, but he also earned a master's in engineering. Luigi wasn't just book smart either. He joined the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity, worked on developing game apps as a teenager, and later worked as a head counselor for Stanford's pre-collegiate studies program in 2019. By all accounts, Luigi had the world at his feet. But as we now know, success on paper doesn't always tell the whole story. A life of opportunities and frustrations. Luigi Mangioni's life was a story of contrasts. On one hand, he had every advantage a person could dream of: a wealthy family, elite education, and a promising career path. On the other, his personal struggles and disillusionment with modern America painted a much darker picture. After earning dual engineering degrees from the University of Pennsylvania, Luigi took a job as a data engineer at TrueCar, a vehicle shopping firm, in late 2020. For a while, he seemed to embrace the freedom and flexibility of his work. He lived in cities like San Francisco and Honolulu, regularly posting on social media about fitness, artificial intelligence, and healthy living. From the outside, his life looked like it was on the right track. Luigi had no criminal record to speak of, except for one small incident in 2023. While exploring the Nuuanu Pali Lookout in Hawaii, he wandered into a restricted area marked off by signs. For this, he was fined $100. A minor mistake, hardly the kind of thing that raises red flags. If anything, it showed he wasn't a rule breaker by nature, just someone with a curious streak. But Luigi's outward success masked deeper frustrations. Frustrations that became impossible to ignore. Chronic pain and growing anger at a system he saw as broken began to consume him, fueling a very radical shift in his perspective that can be seen in the manifesto discovered during his arrest. Pain and disillusionment. Luigi's handwritten but still unreleased manifesto offers a tiny glimpse into the thoughts of a man consumed by anger and pain. Leaks from the document reveal harsh criticism of corporate greed, with a specific focus on the healthcare industry. Some quotes from the manifesto read, "To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone," Mangione said. "These parasites had it coming. I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done." Investigators also revealed that Luigi's manifesto didn't just criticize corporations. It also blamed society for letting them get away with it. He also talked about how the market capitalization for these companies, especially United Health, has grown, and yet American life expectancy has not. The document condemned companies that continue to abuse our country for immense profit, because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. His grievances, though, weren't just ideological. They were deeply personal. Luigi's battles with chronic back pain, something he posted about frequently online, seemed to play a significant role in shaping his worldview. Goodreads reviews tied to his account include titles like Crooked, Outwitting the Back Pain Industry, and Getting on the Road to Recovery. His X profile even featured an X-ray of a spine with screws and plates, likely his own, according to R.J. Martin, the founder of Surfbreak, a co-living community in Honolulu where Luigi once stayed.
Earlier this year, I checked in with him. He confirmed that he had surgery, and he sent me the X-rays. It looked heinous with just giant screws going into his spine.
Luigi often opened up about his condition. Martin described how Luigi's lower vertebrae were half an inch off, causing unpredictable and debilitating pain. After a surfing accident worsened his condition, Luigi confided that his back problems made physical intimacy impossible. "I remember him telling me that, and my heart just breaks," Martin recalled. This chronic pain seeped into every part of Luigi's life. His frustration with the healthcare system, which he seemed to view as profit-driven and indifferent, became a recurring theme in his writings. From frustration to fury. For many Americans, the healthcare system is a source of endless frustration. Denied claims, skyrocketing premiums, and red tape have created a system that often feels more like a profit machine than a service for people in need. Luigi seemed to take these frustrations personally. The bullets used in the attack on Brian Thompson were engraved with the words defend, deny, and depose. These phrases, widely interpreted as a jab at health insurance companies, mirrored the complaints of millions of Americans who feel cheated by the system. But unlike most, Luigi's resentment boiled over into something far more dangerous. His writings reportedly expressed disgust for what he saw as widespread apathy, signaling a deeper anger not just at the system, but at the people who tolerate it. One particular Goodreads review tied to Luigi's account offers a glimpse into his thought process. In it, he described Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, as an extreme political revolutionary whose warnings about society were prescient. While Luigi stopped short of endorsing violence, he wrote, "When all forms of communication fail, violence is necessary to survive." A man in pain, a system in crisis. Luigi Mangioni's physical struggles weren't just an inconvenience. They shaped the way he saw the world. Chronic back pain left him sidelined for months. From everything that we know till now, it seems that Luigi went off the grid for months before the shooting, missing major events like weddings and pulling away from social connections. It wasn't just his body that suffered. The isolation seemed to deepen his frustrations and alienation. Online, Luigi's activity reflected a man grappling with big questions about society and his place in it. Some of his posts focused on mental health and healing, but others hinted at a growing cynicism. He shared content lamenting the loss of religion in the West, and he was vocal about his disdain for wealth inequality. One quote he shared from Kurt Vonnegut summed it up. "America is the wealthiest nation on earth, but its people are mainly poor, and poor Americans are urged to hate themselves." Luigi's anger wasn't limited to the healthcare industry. It seemed to extend to capitalism itself. His manifesto described corporations as parasites exploiting everyday Americans, and he accused society of enabling the problem by allowing them to get away with it. In Luigi's mind, his actions weren't just revenge. They were a statement, albeit one that crossed every imaginable line. And that's where the internet came in. A polarized reaction. After Luigi's name became public, social media exploded with reactions. Internet sleuths dug up his old posts, analyzing everything from his Goodreads reviews to his tweets. Some people immediately started calling him a modern-day Robin Hood, standing up to a system they believe preys on the vulnerable. Memes about Brian Thompson's death popped up almost instantly, some praising Luigi's actions, others mocking the situation. The fallout isn't slowing down. United Healthcare has turned off comments on their Facebook post about Thompson's death after it received over 36,000 laugh reactions. On platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit, debates rage on about Luigi's actions and the broader issue of corporate greed. For many, Luigi Mangione has become a symbol of frustration and anger, a figure tied to the deep dissatisfaction people feel about America's healthcare system. For years, health insurance companies have been criticized for denying claims, inflating costs, and putting profits before people. To some, Luigi represents someone who finally pushed back, though his methods might definitely be questionable. Not everyone is on board with the memes and jokes. Many find them in bad taste, arguing that celebrating violence, no matter the motive, crosses a line. The reactions reflect not just how people feel about Luigi, but also their anger at a healthcare system and a larger capitalist structure that feels stacked against ordinary Americans. Whether people see Luigi as a villain or a symbol of change, one thing is clear. His story has struck a nerve. It's forcing people to confront hard truths about how anger, pain, and disillusionment can boil over when the system feels rigged and unfixable. So what do you think about Luigi Mangione? Do you think he's a hero? Or does he deserve to end up behind bars? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the latest celebrity news. Until next time.